Time for sound design. Today back with another video about the MPC2000XL. And in this video I will talk about a beat that I made on the MPC by sampling vinyl and the MicroKorg synthesizer. And I will talk about what sounds I sampled into the MPC, how I sequenced them, and then recorded into Ableton and do some post-processing in Ableton Live. So the track that I made is sort of a 4-to-the-floor lo-fi house techno track, and it's built around a sample that I found on this record. The record is Jack's Breakbeats Volume 6. It's a turntablism record, so it contains breaks and samples of all kinds. And on this record there's a little sort of lo-fi piano melody where I took one note, and that is the basic thing that you heard in the snippet in the beginning of this video. I first will play you the sample from the vinyl. So that was the piano sample on the vinyl record, and I sampled it into the MPC, and it sounds like this. So I just took that one note. And it sounds already, there's a lot of noise in the sample, a lot of crackle. The only thing I did to it is that I pitched it up a little bit to make it, it was sort of flat of an D sharp, so I made it into an E, as you can see here now in Ableton on the tuner. I will get back to the sample, but let's start with the kick. So this is the sample. So it's a very short, sort of muffled kick from a vinyl record. And then I sequenced that on track 1. The track is at 124 BPM, and it sounds like this. So it's a 4-bar loop, and the kick is on every beat. So the second sample is the snare drum, which is on the 2 and the 4. And I put it very low in the mix because I didn't want to have it too prominent. Then there is the hi-hat. And I use the note repeat on 8, and I turn off the full volume, so that's why there's different volumes for the every hit of the hi-hat. Then on track 4 there is the bass. So this is a sub bass, a sine wave from the MicroKorg synthesizer, and it plays mostly a C, but then at the end it plays a double E note at the end of the 4th bar. So I play from bar 3 . So it's extremely simple. Then on track 5 there's the actual piano sample. Let's see, what else do we have? Then on track 6 there's a synth note that I sampled from the MicroKorg. It's an F, and it plays at the end of each bar. Then there's another kind of shaker. And then on the last track there is a snare roll in the last bar. So it's actually the same snare that I use on track 2 for them as the main snare, but I put it on a separate track, so it's easier to. So the full track beat sounds like this. And the sounds are all pretty short, so they easily fit on one floppy disk. So the next thing is to record this into Ableton and create a intro and also a little bit of variation with some effect automation. So for the intro, I was thinking I want to have that piano note repeated. And instead of creating another sequence, I can just play this by hand. And then to create some variation, I'm going to use the track mutes, which is this one. And if you hit that, then you see that you have the different tracks. So the first one was the kick. So if I play it now with this muted, I'm going to play with the mutes to create a bit of variation, and to create more variation I'm going to use some effect automation in Ableton, maybe a filter and some delay to further build out the track. So I'm aiming to have something that's like around maybe 2 minutes, just to sort of demonstrate the purpose. So let's go to Ableton, hit record, and I'm going to perform the track now on the MPC. Alright, that was the performance of the track with the track mutes on the MPC. So basically muting tracks in and out to create some kind of arrangement and variation. Now let's go to Ableton and do some processing on this one take recording that's a bit over 2 minutes, almost 2.5 minutes, and make it into a bit more of a finished track. Of course, we're working here with the stereo mix, so we're kind of limited in what we can do, but I think we can create something out of this. So let me first copy the track. So we keep the original as is and work with the copy. So in the beginning, I recorded the intro twice because I stopped because I didn't feel it was right. So I deleted that part. So let's put the starting point here. Let's put it here actually, starting point. So here you can see that the sequence part is exactly lining up. This part that I played, not quite. So we don't have to tempo sync it for the rest because it's exactly lined up, because the MPC beat was 124 BPM and my Ableton session as well. So there's no syncing, there's no MIDI syncing between the two, but you see that it lines up. And then here's the sort of break. So I'm actually going to start with the end of the track. I have an idea for this, and that is to add some filter automation. So I want to add some high pass filter. So maybe in the last, 4 bars. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see how that sounds. I think that's fine. And I have another idea for the end of the track, and that is to put a delay on that last hit. So I stop the sequence on the first beat. as an ending of the track, it could be nice to have there a big delay. So I'm gonna enable this delay only in the end for now. So this is the end of the track. Let's go to the start. This is the start. So I'm just gonna put in some markers so I know what's what. So then here, this is the break. So here maybe at the end of the break we want some kind of filter sweep. So let's see. So here at the end of the 4-bar break, there's a filter sweep and then it goes back to the regular beat. So maybe for this section you want to enable the filter as well. Okay, so I now have a rough sort of division of with markers where what is happening. They're all on even bars, so 4, 8, 16 or 12. And now I'm gonna cut a little bit into the recording, not too much, to create a bit more excitement and some kind of stutter effect. I'm thinking mostly in the last break where the main drums go away, or the kick goes away, before going back to the main beat, like here. So basically create a bit more variation by creating this kind of stutter effect. And then I want on top of the stutter effect, maybe some reverb. Would that be nice? That could be interesting. Let's create a bit more stutter. I think I'm gonna leave it here. So I did a little bit of processing in Ableton, not too much. I added some delay, reverb, and a bit of filtering here and there. I'm gonna play you now the entire track so you can hear it. Yeah, so just to recap, I started with this one piano sample from this record. It's a turntablism record with a lot of samples on it. So from that one piano note, I added some MicroKorg synth, like 2 different elements, and then drums from other vinyl records, like individual hits that I sampled. I did the sequencing in the MPC, recorded the stereo out when I performed the intro, and with the track mutes, the variation into Ableton. And then in Ableton, I just put in some markers and some effect automation. So let me know if you have any questions about this in the comments, and see you in the next one.